Alright, today we're at Doncaster and in fact it's our first visit and we're meeting these two guys. Do you want to introduce yourselves?
Hi, I'm Paul from Amiga Addict and Pixel Addict magazines.
And I'm Jonah from the same magazines. Yeah.
So to get straight into it, this all looks extremely professional, and I mean that not in a conceited way. Amiga Addicts, how many issues have you been doing? Because you've been showing me a number for anybody who hasn't seen it before.
Well, we're up to issue 30 now. We're working currently on issue 30. Yeah.
30 issues.
30 issues. Yeah.
So how long's that been going?
That's taken us 3 years now. Yeah. So it's 2020 we actually started,
okay.
But we didn't launch the first issue till January 2021.
And for anybody who's not heard of Amiga Addict and has not seen the magazines before, tell us why a magazine, why a printed magazine, not a website or a PDF or something, non-physical. Why a physical magazine, you think?
Basically, we grew up as Amiga users and old classic computer users reading magazines. They were our lifeblood.
Yeah.
We'd rush down to the newsagents every week or every month and buy as many different magazines as we could, really, to get the latest news, the latest games, software, cover discs.
Of course.
Yeah.
I mean that's just it. Like we come from like the magazines in the 80s and 90s, bring so many memories and everything like that, and pre-internet era as well. This is where you got all your information for. So we've tried to go for a bit of a feel of things like, on Amiga Addict especially, a feel for things like Amiga format, where you get your gaming stuff, you also get your how-to guides. So we've got things like an Amos guide in there as well. Yeah. The tutorials go down well. We've even had cover discs, downloadable cover discs as well. And then, we tried to mix it up. So, we've done an issue on the CD32, which was celebrating its birthday. So that went down well. And that actually came with a CD demo disc as well. Again, downloadable. It was just absolutely amazing.
Yeah. Bringing back what was in the past.
Yeah.
30 years later.
Yeah.
What are your roles for the magazine? What do you do?
I'm the editor of Amiga Addict, but and Paul's sort of does a lot with Amiga Addict too, but he's the editor of Pixel Addict. But the thing with the magazines for us, it's a real passion project. It's because we love magazines that we started this and why we do this. It's not about us just trying to find some area to cover or some product to put out. We're absolutely passionate about magazines. We've always read magazines. We've always subscribed to magazines like Amiga format, haven't we? So I mean, you're a magazine expert basically, aren't you? That's why
I think that's just it. It's like obviously you did what I've done on like Maximum Power Up with interviewing all the games writers from back in the day. So again now my role is obviously edit Pixel Addict and also look for new articles to use in both of them. I mean, even on Pixel Addict now, working on issue 21. We've also had our first one-off special late last year, Amstrad Addict, and there are more things in the pipeline being worked on. So, it's interesting, and it's just great to see people's projects that we can cover in the magazine as well. It's there's just so much going on. Like my 10, 11 years since returning to the retro scene. Absolutely fantastic.
And why do you think, going back to this whole physical, why is it important to have a kind of back catalogue of printed stuff? Because I see, obviously, we've done the interview on the selling the old magazines.
Yeah.
But you've kept the feel of the old style in terms of the typeface. You've still got that nod to the original, really. Is that purposely done?
Yeah, definitely. Thank you for noticing that, because that's what you want. You want people to pick up and go, wow, this really does take you back, to that time. And we have quite a few discussions, don't we? We're like, Paul, make sure you're looking for this angle and that, and Jonah has sometimes his ideas, and we always end up meeting in the middle, and if it didn't work, we wouldn't have done about 50 odd issues of the two magazines, in total. I think that's just it, because there's so much to cover, especially on the Pixel Addict, because that one is looking at like your old computers. So you have things like the BBC Micro in there. You've had things like the Commodore 64. You've had the PlayStation. You know, because like even things like the PlayStation now, you think that's coming up to 30 years old. You know, and you're like, wow. In fact, oh yeah, it really is. So those realization moments.
You
know,
sat there, weren't you?
Yeah. But then, like,
For me,
you know,
with print as well, it's just about the quality. Not to have a dig at websites and all the masses of information on the internet, but when something is researched well and really looked into and written and reviewed, and you can really go deep into something. And when we're ever looking up about an old game or a piece of software, we always go back to Amiga Format or some old Games X magazine to see what a writer or reviewer at that time thought, and someone that's a real critic and valued, that has a valued opinion, you know. So it's about sort of polishing it up, proofreading it, and putting the best products we can out at the end.
And it's a nostalgic trip, but you're covering new stuff as well.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's just it, because we're an era where there's a lot of people doing some really interesting, projects and things. So I think this is stuff that should be covered. We're in a situation where the old 8 and 16-bit machines are getting so many new titles for them. There's new ways of actually like modding your hardware as well. It's just absolutely amazing. I mean, what I like about working on both magazines is I'm learning stuff again. So like when we did the Tandy issue, a Pixel Addict a couple of issues back, I learnt a lot. The history of it. There we are, the cheap plug. But yeah, it's like if I'm learning something from a print magazine, and everyone else is at least enjoying looking at it, then I'm happy. I'm doing what we set out to do. Definitely.
Sounds amazing, guys. I mean, you've really given this passion project a full-time opportunity. 30 issues. Plus.
Yeah.
It's something that is it's the kind of history of your magazine. Your magazine's becoming retro almost.
We have outlived a couple of things like the Amiga magazine. So like the last commercial Amiga magazine on UK shelves was Amiga Active back in 2001, and that did 26 issues. So we've outlasted that.
And
we outlasted
like CD32 Gamer, the Amiga console magazine. We've outlasted that one.
And also Amiga Force as well. So we're still a long way off Amiga Format's 136 issues. So I've worked that out. At 8 issues a year, I think it takes us to our mid-50s.
Right.
Yeah, there we go. I know.
So we'll put all the links in the description, obviously, below. But if you want to get a kind of idea, you've got a website or social media. What's the best way?
It's just addict.media. Addict.media.
Yeah. Find everything addict.media.
And that's your website, and you can order copies from there. If you're not in the UK,
that's all right. Yeah,
we've
got merch
as well. If you don't want the physical print,
got merch as well, and
merch. See some merch.
Yeah,
it's fantastic to meet you guys. I mean, I know you, Paul, anyway.
I know.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Johnny, so,
Thank you.
Great to meet you, and obviously go buy it, basically.
Thanks.
Please, thank you.